It's a good tuna, but I think I paid too much.
I always wear my mask and wash my hands after going home.
I am the king of the ring.
And joining the podcast to talk about the Osaka Expo 2025 is Chappie. We at the Japan Web Podcast guarantee anonymity for all things sensitive. We can't just go around being fully disclosed all the time here. But before we introduce Chappie here, I just wanted to take a look at the expo2025.or.jp website just to kind of read in everybody on what the purpose is here. This is called Overview Purpose, and it says World Expo has both cohesive and communication capabilities. And it says that the goals of the Expo 2025 Osaka Kansai are to contribute to the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and achievement of Japan's National Strategy Society 5.0. And it just kind of gives a lead in here. In 2025, the world will be a mere 5 years away from 2030, the year the United Nations has set as the target for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, making it a crucial one for ramping up efforts to achieve these goals. Therefore, Expo 2025 Osaka Kansai will become a key platform for reaching the SDGs by 2030. Here are some of the SDG goals. So we have 5 years to achieve these goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water, life on land, and peace, justice, and strong institutions, as well as others. And then Society 5.0 is Japan's national strategy to develop a human-centered society that progresses economically and resolves social issues through a system that combines both cyber and physical spaces in a sophisticated manner. It refers to a new form of society chronologically following hunting, farming, industry, and information societies. A society that is able to resolve a variety of issues on a global scale with technologies such as the Internet of Things, AI, robotics, big data, biotechnology is a society that will have achieved the SDGs. So I noticed I was following Chappie on X, the wonderful platform X, and he said that he went to the Expo 2025 in Osaka, and he is here to talk about it. My opinion on the Expo 2025 is that it's more or less slave training. It's breakaway society, and it doesn't appear that it doesn't have the wonderment of the previous versions of these expos or these world fairs that used to exist, where Nikola Tesla would come out and sort of wow everybody with some sort of new technology that would give everybody hope. The new version are bureaucrats nerfing our future for the sake of something called sustainability. So, Chappie, thank you for joining the podcast today. Can you please just introduce yourself with anonymity in mind, if that's what you want?
Yeah, glad to be here. So very quickly, my name's Chappie, and I've been living in Japan since 2016. And I was born and raised in Canada. But I have left for pretty obvious reasons. And now I'm here in Japan, trying to make a new life and a new self-sufficient life. Yeah.
Do you want to mention where your family is kind of originally from as well?
Sure, yeah. So my family is from Hong Kong, and they immigrated to Canada in 1991. So that was 1 year before I was born.
Okay, so you're kind of Canada has a few different styles of Chinese diasporas, and the diaspora in the 90s saw a lot of migration from Hong Kong to especially areas like Vancouver area in British Columbia, Canada, where they set up and did pretty well for themselves, economically speaking. They, as most Chinese diasporas do, they kind of sequester themselves, but at least it's it's kind of in a way they contribute. I would say it's a good thing overall, and especially because at that time a lot of the Hong Kongers were wary of where the future of Hong Kong would be like when it was transferred back from Britain rule back to Chinese rule, and we've seen where it's gone from there. So I just mentioning this because maybe you have a very recent memory of what a type of authoritative creep looks like. Is that wrong?
Oh no, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
All right.
Yeah, that's like exactly why my parents immigrated to Canada for. It's because they just couldn't trust the CCP at all,
And now
knowing
you
their
can't
tactics.
trust the Canadian government. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because there's a lot of evidence that they are compromised by the CCP.
Especially in the Vancouver area. The recent move of Chinese diaspora into Vancouver area are, in my opinion, have very close ties to the CCP, and they kind of hijack Canadian history, Chinese Canadian history, to appear like they are some sort of historical contribution, but in fact they're more of a wing of the CCP, kind of like the sheep's and wolves clothing, or wolves and sheep's clothing. I'm sorry to say, like more of a they're sniffing the place out, seeing how vulnerable it is. Is that right? Do you think so?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, just look at the housing crisis we have now. That's all started when the wave of Chinese people came over.
I think there's also a mix. There's Chinese people with money looking to escape. That's also happening in Tokyo right now, where we are both situated.
Oh yeah, I've been following that quite closely, actually.
Yeah,
I think it's for sure it's a combination.
Yeah, because there's the political aspect, and then there's the economic freedom aspect. But it's so obfuscated, we don't know where one ends and the other begins. Whereas the previous diaspora, it's like they came and built the railroads and now they have a Chinatown. Okay. Or they came from Hong Kong and they've established this economic community with like shopping centers and things like that. Okay, it's very cut and dry. But now it's very obfuscated. It's like no one really knows where one thing ends and the other begins.
Yeah. So they can just like infiltrate kind of secretly.
Yeah,
and
they can.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese police station in Vancouver that has the RCMP insignia on it. So that we're just setting the table here. Let's just move back into Japan. So on your X account, it says you are anti-censorship and you say no to a technocratic future. And you believe in decentralization. Me too, actually. I really like the decentralized power that comes with this new technology, where we even have peer-to-peer social media sites like Bastion.com where you can do video as well. So it's uncensorable. There's no servers that can be turned off. It's entirely run by the people that are using it. That type of stuff is very fascinating. As well as cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, stuff like that, decentralization,
right.
saying no to a technocratic future. There's like the difference between, it's like the difference between like when people say reality or realism. A realism is an ideological projection of what you want reality to be like socialist realism movies from the Soviet Union in the 1960s and 70s. Like we want to make movies that we visualize the future of socialism will be like. But reality is the reality that we see with our eyes and faces and stuff like that. So for me, a decentralized future could be a very realistic future, whereas technocratic or technoism, I don't know how to say it, techism is more of the SDG kind of internalized vision. We need to bend the will of the people with insane amounts of propaganda to get where we need to go.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like very top down, very centralized, and and I think a lot of the funding is tied to promoting SDGs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They freak me out, man. And I always think like I'm living in some paranoid world where I'm just like, you just online too much. But then I'm out in a restaurant and I see like a group of businessmen sit down and they all have SDG pins in the lapels on their suits. And I'm going, what's that over there? That's not paranoia. That's the actual thing.
Oh, yeah.
So why did you decide to go to the Osaka Expo 2025?
Yeah, I was really curious about, what kind of agenda they're setting. And there are a few things I saw that, clearly laid out what they have in plan for us. And first of all, it's completely cashless. So even the vending machines didn't accept any coins, or any of the convenies. Yeah, they didn't accept any cash. So yeah, it's clear they want everything to be digitalized, specifically the CBDCs.
Yeah.
And they even had their own like app. Apparently it's powered by blockchain, but it's like a very centralized version of that. So have you heard of Aptos blockchain?
No, I have not. What can you tell me the name of that blockchain again? Aptos?
Aptos.
APTOS?
Yeah.
Aptos blockchain. No, I have not. Why do you bring this up?
Yeah. So that their app is powered by that. So it's like under that. You know how there's many types of blockchain like Solana or Ethereum.
Yeah,
XRP.
Ripple, all that.
Yeah. So it's like under this thing called Aptos. So I tried using it, and in the expo you could collect these things called NFT stamps. So NFTs, they're things that you can
non-fungible tokens.
Yeah. So I was under the impression that NFT you can you can store it in any kind of wallet of your choice. Since it should be decentralized, but no, it didn't. It didn't work on any of my personal crypto wallets. It only worked under the wallet that was made for the expo.
Oh, why would they do that?
Oh, I wonder why.
To lock you into one umbrella, basically.
Yeah. So that was crystal clear what they're trying to do. Get people primed to get used to using their digital wallets. Centralized digital wallets.
Aptos has seen investment from institutional asset managers like Blackrock.
Oh.
Just doing a little research on Aptos here. Yeah.
Wow.
So they have these, like the there's like a whiz bang aspect to all this, the technological things that you can do with your phones. Like it is kind of interesting to have an app that can store NFTs in it. And it is kind of interesting to have everything work without cash. You can use your phone and the networks and everything like that. But was it exciting?
The expo itself?
Yeah, or like being able to do all this stuff. Were you like, wow, oh my goodness, the future is here? Or was it just kind of like, this is kind of a ball ache. I don't know what this is about. What's the purpose? Like, why can't I just put coins in here? Because like if I'm on a horse, this is an example. If I'm galloping around on a horse and I got like really sore legs and a sore back, and now I have to brush the horse and get it weed, and then some guy comes in with like a car, and I get into a Corvette and it starts zipping down the highway. I'm like, oh, this is obviously some sort of different thing that I would like to use. But with all of like this whiz bang tech stuff, for me, it's like I'm just fiddling. I just feel like I'm constantly fiddling with my phone to try to get it to work. Did you get that impression as well?
Oh yeah, actually, it was a disaster, to say the least.
Okay, why was it a disaster?
So the app, whenever I quit off, it required me to sign back on. So each time I had to input my password, which is, it requires all the special characters and all that stuff. So it's just really tedious, and I just spend like so much time like just trying to log in until I just gave up. So if they're trying to push this to people, they really did fail at doing their job.
So I've also seen like I'm viewing this like as a breakaway society in a way where a lot of the times, like I've been researching the expo pretty diligently, looking at the videos people are posting, look at the official videos that are coming out of it, looking at the news articles and stuff like that. And it seems to me that there are some interesting technologies going on there. There's the slave training with your phone to buy everything so that it can be tracked by Blackrock blockchains, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
amazing. But like, there's like this aspect of self-driving motorcycles that I've seen. There's a self-driving so-called car. It's more or less just a drone that people can, like a person can get in and it hovers around. And I can see that that's like some sort of technological thing that can happen. But a lot of these technologies are being blocked off. Like you can't get on the self-driving motorcycle. You can't get on the flying car. But they do demonstrations of it, very limited ones. And there's all these great pavilions that are set up by all these different countries from around the world. And they look great, but you go in and it's just like, it looks like a combination of some sort of display put together by like high school students and bureaucrats, like the history of women of Norway. So it's like you wait in line for 45 minutes and you go in and there's like this picture of a smiling woman and a chart and a bunch of bureaucrats kind of sitting around going, look, it's the history of women in Norway. But there's no like technology demonstrating it. There's not like some sort of 3D hologram. There's not some sort of interactive display. It's actually very low tech. So the only access to the high-tech stuff that is available to the people going to the Osaka Expo is like tracking technology. The actual high-tech is sequestered off from the people, and there's all like this just bureaucrat nonsense, like feudalistic lords like saying, just read about the history and look at the dances and then go buy a Pocari Sweat with the blockchain tracking technology from the vending machine.
Oh yeah. You haven't even checked it out, and yeah, that's quite accurate. What you said. A lot of this tech it's not very high tech. It's been around for quite some time. I mean, even the flying car itself, like you can already see that kind of stuff in China. So yeah, and also it wasn't widely available for the people to access. So
when the Osaka Expo was being advertised, this car company, this eVTOL, the electric vertical takeoff and landing drones that people can get in and out of, it was supposed to be transporting people from the heart of Osaka to the heart of Expo. But then the bureaucrats kind of just say, no, it's too dangerous. Sequester it. Just to have a demo. So like there's like this. It's almost like they're nerfing our future. Is kind of the way I view it. Like they want it for themselves, but they don't even know how to use it. So they just make a demo, make everybody watch a photo, and then call that an expo.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I had like a terrible time. It was pretty cool to see that wooden structure lit up at night. But, it just came out short trying to sell, a very exciting future. If that's what they're going for.
What's the shape? So you're talking about the structure. What type of structure do you mean?
Yeah, so it's like a huge wooden circular structure that surrounds the pavilions.
This circular structure is also called a ring, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
And the whole image of the SDGs is a ring.
Right, yeah.
So
wow.
and the Osaka Expo ring is made out of what? Wood.
I'm sorry?
The whole,
Oh, yeah.
and that's a
Yeah.
sustainable product. That's renewable.
Right, which they're planning to take down right after it's finished.
Well, that's the effigy, like the Burning Man effigy. You sacrifice it in a way to bring in the future, right? Like people sacrifice for some sort of future return by the gods, right? Or so it's a weird kind of, there's a weird ritualism going on here as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw a clip on X of the opening ceremony, and then they had like a triangle, and then they had the all-seeing eye in the triangle. I was like, wow, totally not obvious.
Yeah, they do shove it down our throats. Like your post on X said you went to Osaka Expo 2025 to see what the fuss was all about. This was on April 18th. So we've been going back and forth to record this interview for a while now, but just some quick takes. The venues were beautifully set up, and I thought the criticisms were overly harsh, and some countries tried really hard to shove the globalist SDGs down our throats.
Yeah.
So what criticisms were overly harsh? Do you remember?
I mean, like early on, they were just saying, "Oh, the lineup was so terrible," and all that stuff. And the first day was raining, so of course it's gonna be kind of bad, to line up. So, stuff like that.
That's
and,
unavoidable. There's a line and it's raining. Notice how I'm not bringing that up. That's what okay. And what about the SDGs? Like I mentioned a whole bunch of like the website itself, right at the very top, pretty much says it's about SDGs. This is about SDGs. The whole thing is about SDGs. So
yeah.
like do you remember some of the messaging, the SDG messaging at the events or at the expo itself?
Yeah, I checked out some of the pavilions. Obviously, not all of them, since there's just too many. But one of them in particular was Portugal, and then they just had this like video of like the rising sea water levels, and then just like kind of like messaging, saying that like it's all our fault.
Yeah.
Kind of like guilt tripping.
Yeah, you take time out of your busy schedule to go out to this island in the middle of the Osaka Bay, and then some Portuguese cunt starts wagging their finger at you.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Like they just like displayed it on the really big screen. Those what's it, projection mapping things?
Oh yeah, projection mapping. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
They only roll out the technology when it's used to punish you.
Yeah.
What's with that? It's so odd, isn't it? Like, and I mentioned earlier, like, I'm all for technology. I worked in big tech from 2015 to 2020, researching AI for the school at a telecommunications company. And I'm like looking at all this stuff going, we could use this stuff to make our lives so much better. So I'm very pro technology, but for some reason with the bureaucrats and all that, like there's this real kind of low, you are the problem. Look at you. We need to stop what you are doing. Like there's this real kind of, we're going to cut you off from the future and just let you dance around with a phone, and that will be sustainable. Here's some wood.
It's really weird. I mean, obviously not all pavilions were like that. Like some were really emphasizing on, their culture and, their dance performances and stuff like that. I mean, even Canada, like I thought Canada would have a very woke kind of messaging, but actually in the Canadian pavilion, all it was just some like room with icebergs, and then they gave you this like iPad with AR technology, super dated stuff. Like goes back at least 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And then you got like, if you like shine it on the iceberg, it gives you like these Canadian landmarks, like really outdated graphics. Like I'm talking about like, I don't know, Nintendo 64-esque graphics.
Wow.
But it was interesting. It was like people look like they're like enjoying it for some reason. I don't know. Like for myself, like I was, yeah, it was quite funny. I was more surprised. Oh yeah,
we are. We'll get back to that in a second. We both have lived in Canada. Oh yeah, you're Canadian because you were born there. So we're both Canadians, and probably I'm going to go on a massive gamble here, and I'm going to bet that between the both of us who have born in Canada and lived majority of our lives in Canada, between the two of us, we have seen exactly 0 icebergs.
Yes.
So why is Canada going all in on the icebergs? Like, it's not really there's like one part of Newfoundland that has like an iceberg flow in the summertime or something. Like, it's not really a thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's even more bizarre, right?
The
like, are they
famous
trying to
Canadian icebergs? Like, what? Like, what? Why do they?
Are they trying to make us think of the melting glaciers?
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's
probably right.
It's messaging. And it's your fault. Here's some N64 graphics. If only you as a person were more worthwhile, we would at least upgrade to a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, not even like, VR goggles or, that Apple Vision Pro thing that was supposed to take off.
Not even a bunch of discarded Oculuses from 10 years ago or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Instead, you have to hold a freaking iPad, not just any iPad. It's like pretty heavy.
Right.
And then the funniest part was that it had a lot of glitches.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Typical Canadian, in typical Canadian fashion.
Everyone just kind of goes, oops, well, we tried. Anyways, bye.
Yeah. It's like the Arrive Can app from back in the COVID.
They paid $350 million for an tracking app that didn't work and nobody knew how to use. But it was so important because everybody was dying that we installed this technology that nobody knows how to use. It was the ultimate virtue signal, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Here's some headlines that from the news. It says digitalized Osaka Expo troubling elderly visitors because it's totally cashless, and Japan is an aging society. I love the idea of the yes and approach. Like if I want to use a QR code payment or a barcode payment or my credit card or a bank card or physical cash, I think it's just interesting as a person to have more access to my own finances via technology. But I don't like it's like now because we have a QR code, you can't use money anymore. It's like that doesn't make any sense to me because there's money there and there's money here. Why can't I use both? So the elderly visitors are getting shafted. And it says future of aerial CO2 capture tech on display at Osaka Expo. So this is the CO2 capture technology for the SDGs. And it says up to 200 people affected by Uzbek pavilion data leak at Osaka Expo. Then it says self-driving bus at Expo has minor collision with wall. And then it says flying car demo flight canceled at Osaka Expo due to broken parts.
Right. Yeah, that one. Oh my goodness.
And those are all kind of minor things, but it's like, if this is supposed to be the future, why is it just feels like a bunch of people sitting on their asses and they don't really have the vision to roll anything out. They're just kind of taking existing technology, copying and pasting it onto a pavilion, like an expo map, and just saying that's the future. Here's some wood.
Yeah, like I thought this event was supposed to capture the hearts of people to like completely buy into the technocratic future, isn't it? But
it just seems like a lot of scolding, and then you go and watch a tribal dance that you don't really ever would never ever want to see.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, like what they're really trying to sell here.
Everything. It's like everything I've seen from it. They're trying to make it like TikTokable. Like you walk up to like a sign that has like where you can pose in front of it with some branding, and then you wait in a line in front of like an amazing looking pavilion. But you go into the pavilion and it's shoddy. But the whole point is that you take pictures of the pavilion and upload it onto TikTok or whatever, and then you go over to some dance and there's like a bunch of tribal dancers with like some hip hop music. And it's like, whoa, look at this sort of blend of traditional and modern. And then you go and this is one of the items that I saw for sale. It's a soy meat okonomiyaki hamburger that you can only order with cashless payments.
What? Really?
Yeah. And I saw another one that was transparent takoyaki, where they have like this sustainable way to make octopus balls, but they're just transparent. And then they put one sloppy octopus ball in like a cardboard box that's probably biodegradable, and they hand it to you. And you're supposed to eat like this transparent octopus ball.
Oh yeah, I did see that one online.
And yeah, like this, and like I don't know anybody who would say, "Oh, I had this really delicious soy meat okonomiyaki hamburger," but the whole thing is that it's an SDG, right? So it's like I ate it, therefore my carbon footprint went down, therefore the Osaka Expo is a success, and now Blackrock can track that I bought that.
Yeah, and also they didn't hand out paper maps, because to save, on the paper to meet the SDG goals.
What kind of maps did they have?
Well, they had the option for you to buy the map. It's like a paper map for 200 yen, and you have to line up for that too. So
yeah. Here's your piece of paper that you had to buy with cashless because paper is not good.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then what were the digital maps like via the app, like the Osaka Expo app that you download, and then there's a map there?
Oh yeah, it's like a digital map, but it's pretty trash. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not very detailed, so. I think someone online, like on one of the Facebook groups, ended up making a more detailed map, and for people to print out.
Why do you think that it's like this shoddy? Do you think hold on a second. Do you think it's shoddy?
Do I think it's shoddy?
Yeah. Is the Osaka Expo shoddy?
I mean, I was there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then the first 40 minutes I was waiting to get in to clear the security check. Once I got in, I mean, I think the part that I liked wasn't as crowded as something like USJ or Disneyland. So I'll give them that.
Yeah, okay.
But just like, there's just some things that, like, for example, there was a sign that said, please don't overwhelm the data, the 5G connection. So like, do not, I think it said don't load any like high bandwidth applications like videos to prevent overloading their 5G towers.
The whole point of 5G is that it can't be overloaded. That's why it's there.
Yeah, but for some reason, it was very slow.
Oh, that is embarrassing. But again, it goes back to the technology aspect. Why not just deploy more 5G? Right? These are like the 5G towers are relatively cheap to produce. I know quite a bit about it. Why not just have more 5G systems or towers, or have spots where you could upload videos or something like that, video upload spots or something like that? But again, it's like this restriction. Like we have to restrict you. This whole thing is based around being TikTokable, but don't take videos or don't upload video. Like, what are you supposed? It's yeah, okay. You're kind of confirming a lot of my biases. Would you take children there?
I take children there. Maybe for some of the stuff, but I think majority of the pavilions they would just, they wouldn't even know what they're looking at. You know, with all the SDG branding, it's like super abstract for them. You know, I mean, it's abstract for anyone in general, I think. So
yeah, I find the whole thing abstract. There's only 5 years left before all of these things can be solved. So we're gonna have a bunch of technology that's not really ready, and that's going to be emblematic of the future because we have to have no poverty and zero hunger in the next 5 years.
Yeah. So
isn't that crazy? That they're just saying that, like, yeah, no poverty and zero hunger by 2030, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. While the price of everything's just going up, now rice is like 3 times the price as it was last year.
I'm boycotting rice. I've decided to boycott rice. I think it should be illegal for a staple that is subsidized to the tune of like $2.5 billion a year. They subsidize the farmers to not grow more rice so that prices keep low or are kept low. So over the past year, rice has expanded, rocketed up in price by like more than 100%.
Yeah.
So we're subsidizing this, and it's doing the exact opposite. And in fact, the farmers recently had a protest in Tokyo, and some of them were actually saying, we need these price increases. So the farmers are protesting in favor of 100% rise in prices for their staple grain. I'm like, well, I'm going to find somewhere else to eat. Thank you. I'm not supporting you. That's crazy.
Wow. And then, wow, that's crazy. And then, meanwhile, you got rice that's being sold. Japanese rice is being sold in, I believe, California for cheaper.
Yeah. Wow. But these are the people that are supposed to end poverty in 5 years.
Yeah. So all these inconsistencies and.
Well, yeah, it would be kind of like me saying, like, okay, it's April, it's May 1st today. I only have 30 days until the end of May, and I need to increase my muscle mass by 780%. So I'm going to spend all my money in the next 30 days trying to do that. It's everything else is going to fall apart, and I'm going to fail. You know what I mean? It's like these are totally unrealistic goals that take all of the world's money and even more than that. And it can't even happen because they're impossible things to happen. Like, you can't just plug in a 5G tower, give someone a QR code payment and say, looks like world hunger is over. You know, like, it's a very like the inconsistencies, as you mentioned, are rather like abundant. And it would be fine if it was just like some sort of activist group. But these are like the people kind of in charge of the upper echelons of our society here, that's making these choices and pushing these initiatives and things like that. But the fruits of their labor, the fruits of their efforts are always just like, nah, we're actually not going to do any of that, but we're just going to give you some wood and you can look at the flying car. How's that sound? You know, here's your soymeat okonomiyaki hamburger. Please let Blackrock track this payment through our app.
Yeah, it's just like a really like pathetic attempt at trying to sell the future.
Yeah, I don't see what the vision, like there's no appeal to this vision. Like if you go back to the World Fair videos and you see Nikola Tesla doing his demonstrations of technology, it's like, wow, the future is amazing. But now it's like, eat your bugs and shut up.
Yeah. Speaking of Tesla, I went to he's from Serbia, isn't he?
Oh yes, the original Tesla, Nikolai Tesla. Is it?
Yeah, Nikola Tesla's
he's
a
a
Serbia.
Serbian
Yeah.
electromagnetic inventor. I guess we could call him in this
Yeah,
podcast.
so I went to the Serbia pavilion, and then I didn't see any picture or any mention of him. Like, what gives?
He's only the man that invented everything that we use today that's of any significance. Why would you feature him? No, you have to have it has to be like Serbian women of color, the backbone of Serbian culture.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it's, yeah,
Yeah, Nikolai Tesla was too white and he used too much energy. It's the wrong message.
yeah. Man.
While you're ethnically from Hong Kong and you're like, why isn't Nikolai Tesla there? As if it matters, right? As if it even matters. It's like, who cares about the what he did was the main thing. Wrapping up here, what's your main takeaway from the Osaka Expo? And do you I've been kind of going hard on it. So what's your main takeaway? And do you agree with my summations, or do you disagree?
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. Like, I think you put the nail on the head for that. And even you haven't attended yourself, right?
No. But I have systems where I can virtually go and plug in and plug out from a variety of different viewpoints. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's my main takeaway? It was, I guess, it's because I'm trying to look at it, from a deeper level. So in that aspect, it was fun. But if I didn't know anything about the agenda, I think I'll be like, what the hell am I here for?
So it's like you basically have to have the agenda pre-programmed into you, and then you go to the Osaka Expo and it affirms the pre-programming. But if you don't have the pre-programming, you're basically looking at like a cult.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to say. Right, and there's another pavilion I forgot to mention. It's the Belgium pavilion, and that one just sold their future vaccine technology, and that was it. They're like, we will, get your data, and you will consent.
It's very Belgium these days. Yes. You should have stuck to your waffles. you Belgian freaks. We don't need your MMRA technology. That is a weird one. It's very dystopian, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got this transhuman looking thing, no face. And then they're like, getting ready for the next pandemic. I'm like, what do you mean next pandemic? I thought these things were supposed to happen every 100 years.
But they're so profitable now, they may as well happen every 5 years.
Yeah. So, imagine, if you were a kid, you just went in there and you would have no idea what the hell you were looking at.
Yeah, if you were a kid from the 90s and you went to sleep and you woke up and you went there, it would be like, aw, where's the other ones were fun, but this one it's like a weird inverted dream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, well, I'm thinking I'm going to leave it there. So, Chappie, where can people find you?
Yeah, on X at Chapmano_TV.
Yeah. And your info will be in the show notes. So if anybody wants to go follow Chappie there, I recommend following. There's a lot of relevant content based around what your X profile claims to be. It's anti-censorship, say no to a technocratic future, and always looking for new paths towards a more decentralized future. Do what you can with what you have. When you have a YouTube channel too?
Not active, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
No, so that's fine. Yeah, YouTube is a strange beast. I post my podcasts there, but I don't really interact on YouTube. It's the algorithm is very. It feels like tentacles just pouring into my soul. You know, that's how I feel about YouTube channels.
Oh yeah, and the shadow banning probably.
Oh yeah, basically with what I said on this podcast, there's no way that YouTube would ever allow me to go past 25 views. It's like just a long checklist of things you're not supposed to say on YouTube.
yeah. Definitely not, yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's been a blast chatting with you about the Osaka Expo. This has been an exclusive report, an exclusive interview for the Japan What podcast. Boots on the ground, summaries, summations, analysis about the Osaka Expo 2025. The shadow of the beast, how the SDGs capture existing technology and churn out platitudes with finger wagging for the rest of us. That's how I would summarize my version of Expo. I'm not sure if that's your version, but for the podcast, I think it's safe to say that that's more or less hitting the notes where they were laid. What do you think, Chappie?
Yep, 100%.
It's a good tuna, but I think I paid too much.
I always wear my mask and wash my hands after going home.
I am the king of the ring.